Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin. These wonderful people have agreed to join me this evening, taking time from their busy lives to come and play silly games. And I appreciate that very much. So, very quickly, we're going to dot all the I's and cross all the T's so that we can get to this game. The virtual tabletop we are using this evening is Roll20. The images that I actually remembered to put on the overlay this week are done using Hero Forge, each of them made by the player who is playing them. That's all of that. The people! Oh, the fun part. Let's do this in backwards order this week. Backwards, by which I mean reverse order on Zoom, which also means I will almost certainly screw this up. But let us begin with Solar Dasher. Thank you again for joining us. Welcome back. Beowulf is now more wolf than Bayo. Thank you for doing that. We kind of worked together as a team and built that new, figured out which new subclass was good for that. So thank you for that. Have you had a chance to stream at all? He asked every week.
No.
She says every week.
I actually did have a chance yesterday. I just didn't have the oomph, the want to do it.
Yeah. If it's not fun, don't do it.
It was just one of those days.
Well, hopefully tonight will be one of those nights in a very different way.
Have lots of fun. Other than that, no, you can find me in the Discord channel.
Yes, thank you for the prompt. I will put that in there. Thusly, you can find all of us over at the Discord channel in varying states of disrepair, where we are all over there being tremendously supportive to each other and running all kinds of foolishness and silliness past each other, and just generally being a humongous group of online friends. It's one of the nicest places online I've ever been. Not that I've been to billions, but I've been to enough to know that a lot of it's pretty nasty. This is not one of those nasty ones. Next. Bugbear with the bald ass. Bugbear,
like that
that's a lot of upper body mass. That's all the rhyming I'm going to do.
I thought it was like I thought it was one of the Bugbear. What do you see?
My bare ass sticking out of a tree.
There you go.
Ooh, wow.
We fixed it. And everybody who hasn't been around before now knows who Bigford is. So instead, tell us who Bison is. Bison Stonefist.
Bison Stonefist is a variety streamer. When he remembers to stream. Last week I was going to play Cyberpunk, but I slept all day, so that didn't happen. So I might actually be changing my nights to Tuesdays. 6 p.m. Pacific Standard on my Twitch channel, which I'll throw up there in a sec.
Please do.
Other than that, you can find me here.
Yes, and we will soon be getting up to more than one show a week.
There we go.
And we'll keep you posted on that. Many secrets not to be shared at this point. Oh, there was a segue. Speaking of secrets not to be shared, the two that are left. Let's start with Sarah. Tell us about Tangor Productions, unless you got something over there you also have going that you can't tell us about.
We're currently working on an adventure video, so we're editing it. But the adventure really did not go as planned. 4 times.
Oh, well, that's why they called it an adventure.
Yeah, we're still trying. Yeah, we're just editing now a video, so.
Right. Well, with 4 goes, you got to be able to put something together that makes you look great.
Yeah, it's interesting all the same. But yeah, I have Tangor Productions, and I'm also a writer at The Scarred Adventure. So
excellent. Which brings us all the way around to said Scarred Adventurer. First of all, thank you for bringing it. Oh, I forgot to thank Sarah for bringing Idicus. How could I possibly do that? We shall unleash the tiny moat of chaos very soon.
This will be fun.
And look at the fingers over the lips. Yeah, there's evil in the room. Dr. Zulthis, should I call you? From this point on. Scarred.
You could call him Doc Z or
Doc Z. Oh, Zed, at least. At least give me Doc Zed. We're Canadian. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah. I'm saying Doc Z for our American friends.
That is okay with me.
Still, I am working on a super secret project that I can't tell you very much about because we also made everyone else that's working on the project sign things that say they won't talk about it. So I'm
Yes.
not going to change anything either. So otherwise, there's thescarletadventure.com, a lovely website full of lovely people that has been mostly quiet because I've been so busy doing this other cool thing.
It's
So yeah,
all good. Yep. That the best part about that channel for me is that every time I ask people what they put on it, they go nothing recently, but soon. So
I'm not even pretending to say soon. I'm just saying it'll happen when it happens.
when there's time. Yes,
Deal with
absolutely.
it.
There's lots to catch up
That
on.
works.
Go there now, and yeah, just go there now and start to read. There's lots there already. With that, it comes around to me. Like I said, once per week right now. That's going to be changing within the next couple of weeks. We're going to be going up to at least 2 nights a week, and work our way back up at some point back up to the original 3 nights a week. Although it may not be the identical nights or the same nights every week. That all remains to be seen. So, with that.
Oh dear.
The 4 of your characters, tented fingers or not, are stuck on the edge of an ancient glacier. The closest towns, if you remember from the map, are Luskan, Hundlestone, Bryn Shander, and Mirabar. But the closest of those is almost 90 miles away. And in
Yikes.
this icy environment, you can move half of D&D raw. So you can only go 12 miles a day. You have food, some, not much, not 12 days worth, but some. But that's not the entire problem. Because your magic boat, and all that's in it, and 2 elementals, are all heading in random directions as we speak. The boat is heading south downriver, where if you look at the map, it's going to go through a couple of lakes before it gets down to where it joins the Mirar River, and if it hasn't been found with 4 ancient giant artifacts on board, and an undead thing and a dragon fighting for control, and some other problems, some elementals that'll be back in 23 and a half hours. But if none of that stops it, eventually it's going to roll right into Luskan, a naval city where someone is sure to board it.
Yeah, we should probably find it quickly.
As you look around, you see to the north of you the spine of the World Mountains, and you realize that they're actually holding back a glacier that's beyond them. And pieces have fallen off that glacier and refrozen in this valley that you're in, which is almost 150 miles from north to south. But coming over those mountains and pouring down off of that glacier is a storm. It's not here yet, but it's coming. With that, I will stop with the bad news for now. But that means
Suicide
it's time
Pact?
to
Who's
roll
in?
time to roll some dice. Everybody, give me a history check, please.
I'm still on the Raven Rock map, by the way.
Same.
Yeah,
Oops.
same here.
I fix. Oops. No, not that. Not that.
Wow, I rolled 2 identical histories.
You remember the same thing twice. There, that should be better. Map-wise.
Much appreciated.
There you go. I made it a little red dot now. It's right up near Raven Rock, and I shrunk it down to sit beside the river where you guys are, so I got more of a sense of scale. If you want to measure distances, just use the measuring stick in the bar on the left-hand side there, and you can confirm those numbers. 16, 15, 14. Okay, everybody but Bigford remembers various bits and pieces of rumors of a place around here, a place to the west called the Clothan Vale. You can see it on the map. 16 Iticus, somehow you remember. Maybe you were there, maybe somebody else was there. The memories are kind of fuzzy and hazy. But you somehow know that valley, there's a valley that runs from basically, I'm going to draw a line on the map here. from there all the way over to the road there. Once I think you probably couldn't see it until I let go of the thing, but you should be able to see the red line now on the map. But it runs all the way over to that road, and it's warm all year round. Lots of food, you remember.
And with a 23,
Oh, did I not scan down far enough?
Beowulf has a 23.
Oh, with advantage, I took the 15.
No, it's advantage because he's in his changed form right now.
Right, okay. In that case, yes, you remember that as all of that material as well. You also, now I have to think of something. Okay, 23, yeah. It's a very dangerous place. There are all kinds of rumors.
He remembers that, looks at the group, and thinks to himself, I think we're dangerous enough on our own. We could probably take care of any danger that's there.
The stories are, sorry to interrupt. The stories are things like landslides and very high death rates amongst adventuring parties.
So he's going to look to the group, whether Oedicus says anything or not, and just say, well, we got two options, really.
So we had 3.
One.
You've got
One, well,
you've
three.
got
One, we
dozens
could die
of them,
here.
technically.
Yeah. Well, one, we can go through this veil that's over here. And he takes out his map and
Yep.
points at it. 2, we can just follow the river down. 3, you guys have a better idea?
No, 3 is stand here and die. So that's the third option. My vote is for the first option.
Going through the this veil here?
It is a longer distance, just to point it out, from where you are. It's to straight line it. Oops. Wrong thing. Yeah, it's 104 miles straight to the road. So with the twisting and turning, that's probably more like 130, 140 miles. And it is all across ice. So again, 12 miles a day, not 24. You do not have that kind of food.
Look, if we were going down
Although,
to Luskan,
sorry, that's once you get into the Vale itself, you'd be traveling, if the rumors are right, you'd be traveling at full speed because it's warmer there.
look, we need the boat back because, I'm still on there somehow.
Yep.
It's a long, complicated thing I'll get into later.
I've decided it's somewhat like 5G. Once you're a certain distance away, the connection is no longer made.
I can't connect to it anymore.
That's the easiest way to deal with that.
That's not any good.
So, really, I think we should go to Luskan. However, we can either travel through a long, long way, about, what was it, 100.5 miles in through ice, or we can go through the slightly nicer way, which I believe might have some food, because it's not a goddamn tundra.
Let me be clear, not a tundra, it's a glacier that you're on right now.
Close enough. Neither of them grow anything. Means no animals are going to come over and hop in front of us. And if we get onto the road, then we can mug someone and take their vehicle.
I suppose that works.
In Goblin, Oedicus is going to say to Bigford,
Other way is safer. If we go that way, it better.
Through the veil.
Do there.
Bickford sort of sits up because at this point he was still lying on the ground after getting everybody out.
Yep.
He's like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not going to survive in this weather. Too old for this shit. I think we need to take the veil.
Yes, your cheeks are already turning blue.
All 4 of them. Ba-dum-bum-tsh.
You saw where I was going.
And then I stole it. I'm that guy.
Yes, I don't care. I set it up. You finished it. That's good enough for me.
So,
I don't really feel like dying out here yet.
I think we should get moving because I think the longer we stay put in one place, the colder it's going to be.
Yep. And with that storm coming, like I said, option 3 is stay here and die. So let's
things
go.
are gonna get ugly. Yes. So,
Moving.
with that brilliant plan in place, yeah, it's only 20 miles to the end of the valley, so it's only 2 days out on the ice. On our shattered glacier. Every mile there's one of these chasms that you have to go down one side and across the bottom through the water and up the other side. There's places where even when you get to the rivers you have to jump from ice flow to ice flow to get from side to side. I'm going to tell you all of it first, then we're going to do a bunch of rolling. There are, even between that, there's just huge sheets of dirty ice, all crinkled and rotten. Ice can rot if it gets too cold and then too hot and then too cold. It kind of gets crunchy underneath. And you could certainly sink into that for quite a bit. Also, the sun is getting low in the sky. Yes, it is. This is how I see this game. And every once in a while, I give you the camera view. The sun, with the sun this low in the sky, you're starting to get a really nasty glare off of the ice as well. You don't have a lot of hours left in the day. You set off. Limited supplies. Two of you don't feel cold at all. One of you is currently in fur and then dressed in fur. And the other one is, I'm assuming, pretty much frozen, Bigford. But as you start off, I mean, you realize right away this isn't just walking on ice, but that's where we can start. So everybody give me an acrobatics check just to try not to fall on your ass hard. You're going to fall lots during the day, but to fall on your ass hard enough not to hurt yourself
This is a
at some point as you fall over and over and over again.
acrobatics, you said?
Acrobatics, please, yes.
Okay, this is
Unless you want
because of-
some other way to do it, if you want.
No, this is because of spider climb. I can stick
Oh.
to any surface essentially. I do this with advantage.
Yes, because you still could break through the rotten spots.
25.
So yeah, okay.
That's I was trying to work that out.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. But yeah, you can stick to anything you want, but when it falls 4 feet, that doesn't help you. So that makes perfect sense. You've got advantage, but and it worked. So 3 of the 4 of you, again, you fall, you come climbing out of the hole, you slip down halfway into a crevasse. One of the other people grabs you and pulls you. Eventually, Beowulf, maybe it's because it's the new form, you're not 100% sure of it yet. We're just going to turn
He
this
still has
into...
no memory of it.
Also
Yep.
a lot of extra weight.
Absolutely. You overbalance and you tip as you're running across one of these ice flows from chunk to chunk to chunk, and you fall down between 2 sheets of ice that are starting to close. Everybody gets 1 action. Beowulf first. What do you try to do?
I want to get out of there.
Try and
I don't wanna
scramble
be
out.
squished.
Okay. Bigford, Beowulf, you guys are just boom, 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 and Beowulf just boop, and you look down, and the ice is starting to close. They're scrambling to try and get back to the surface.
I'm going to try and help him
Yep.
by using my powerful build and the 50 foot of rope that I still have with me.
Okay, absolutely. That's advantage for sure in the true meaning of the help action. Technically, that means the other 2 of you can't use the help action to give them advantage. Well, I mean, you could, but it would be pointless because advantage doesn't stack. So what would you like to do taking that game mechanic into hand? Because we can metagame a little bit.
Okay.
Just a bit.
Zulthus's arms are still broken.
Yes, you haven't
He can't grab
rested
anyone.
or healed yet. Roospar, hey, thank you.
So literally, he's going to go over to the, because you said the crack is closing.
Yep. It's
Zulthus
like,
is
it's
gonna do
2
something-
flat sheets of ice floating on the river, one of these rivers that you're crossing.
Okay.
And-
Zulthus is going to do the splits
Yes,
essentially,
like
and
marching
put one
Newfoundland.
foot on one foot and one foot on the other
Yeah.
piece of ice.
And
Try and
try
keep
and-
them open for a little longer.
Okay, okay, yep. So that's going to be a strength or not acrobatics. What's it, athletics? Yeah, let's make that an athletics check. Not yet, but because I want to get everybody's stuff first.
Yeah.
And Idicus.
Idicus is going to help Bigfrid hold the rope,
Okay.
essentially.
Yeah.
Just extra pair of hands and extra pair of eyes, making sure that nothing goes wrong.
Okay. So, first things first. Beowulf. Climb out of that thing. Give me this is pure strength. You are covered in wet fur, some of it your own, some of it the jacket. Give us a athletics check with advantage because Bickford is helping you.
Goodness, this is already get advantage on it. Which is
21.
thankfully lucky.
Yeah. So you
Okay.
claws, you get pulled part way up. Bickford pulls on your jacket and it kind of just comes up over your shoulders, not really helping, but it takes some of the weight off so you can pull yourself the rest of the way up. As you get to the very top of that and back onto the ice, there's still time if, just as you're coming out, the ice starts to close towards your legs. At that point, an athletics check.
Yeah, I was hoping that you wouldn't do this because it worked so well beforehand.
Yes, to see if you can break your legs. Oh, look at that.
Oh dear.
I gotta say, I really like it. Again, the dice are working. You're going to be an absolute mess at the end of this. You will not be making snow angels. Let's put it that way. But story-wise, this is absolutely perfect. And how could Zulthus earn his stripes any more than by breaking all of his limbs and trying to defend his teammates? With that, the ice closes. It catches Beowulf's calves as he tries to climb out, but he just puts his foot on it with his free foot on it and pushes, which is enough to open it up a little bit to get their leg out. But that means your knees kind of buckle and then it comes back in together. You roll the damage. Roll a d8 for us.
Okay.
You got caught between two huge sheets of ice. I think 1d8 is pretty.
4.
Yeah, 4 points of damage. One of your ankles shatters. Just. And the two pieces of ice kind of come together with you stuck between them for a second and then separate slightly. You're slowing the party down even more now. It's only 4 points of damage, but there's still a consequence. Consequence.
Should I take 10 feet off my movement speed, putting me at 40?
Yes, if there was any sort of combat that comes up. But other than that, I mean, basically you now have a hobbled teammate to slow you down even more. I'll figure out enough when we figure out how long we want this to take, narratively speaking. But you're at least 2 days, and you're almost at the end of the first one, so you're going to be out here for 2 nights at least.
Once we get across the river, Bickford's gonna...
hang on a second. We still had, because we had Idicus, who was helping hold the rope, but you also said the magic word eyes. As you look up, you see that the storm is going to be here tonight.
Oh dear.
You got sort of 2 hours till sundown and sort of 5 hours till storm.
He's again, it's in Goblin to Bigford.
We set up now. It's not safe soon. Set up now.
Yeah. Bigger's like, "Eh, you got a point. Guys, we're gonna have to set up tonight or we're in major trouble."
Give me, let's do this again more close to the rule book. Who's in charge of finding the campsite? If you agree to that this is the time to camp and not just walk blindly across the glacier in the middle of the night.
Beowulf's still trying to figure out how to get rid of this wet dog feeling.
Yeah.
How do they do this with such a sensitive nose? Oh,
Zulthus is not going to be able to be scouting very far with a shattered ankle and 2 broken arms.
Yep. Bickford, yeah, you can see in the dark. Idicus can see in the dark.
Idicus is also a sentry.
Yep. But this is about who's finding the place to camp. How well hidden you're going to be when this storm hits.
Zulthus is getting frustrated. He's eventually going to start doing it on his own. It's going to end badly for everyone.
Can Can I roll survival?
Yes, absolutely. That's the perfect roll, actually. Somebody roll survival for me. So, Idicus, you look around. There it is, 25. So you finish your little speech in Goblin about, we got to get out of here, we got to get out of here. You're standing at the edge of the river, and you see this big crack where the ice that makes up the glacier is opened up like this. Well, from where you are, like that. And the river kind of goes in and swirls, but there's a little ledge above that you're pretty sure you could all get up on. That would be a very nice hidden little spot by the river.
Oh.
Down out of the storm. There is,
I'll play
however,
it
a
out.
hiccup down there. 12 hit die monster. I don't laugh. So, Idicus, you find that, or you see it.
And still to Bigford.
Over there. This spot.
I think Idicus found a spot, guys.
And yeah, you look over and you can see Bickford. There is this really nice little sort of cave cavern. It's not really deep, but it's just a broken piece in the ice.
All right.
You-
So with that, I'm going to, with his permission, pick up Zulthis and put him on my back.
The C3PO treatment.
Yeah. I was gonna say, come on, Goldenrod, let's go, but
That works even better.
And so you do. And
so
you-
considering creatures got, one limb out of 4.
Yep. So you crash your way along, being careful along the ice on the way there. Give me dexterity saves, everybody. What order are you in? Actually, let's do the big person. Never mind, everybody's rolling already. Idicus, no problem. You're just like, it's over there. And then you just, and right in the hole. And yes, Goblin finding a good hidey hole. The dice are wonderful. Oh, Bigford. We're going to come back to that. Zulthis, that's also funny. Beowulf.
I'm
okay.
attached to Bigford.
Yes,
This
you
is
are.
not
That's why
ending
this
well
is
for
so
us.
funny. Yeah, Idicus just run right across, easy peasy. You don't even think that nobody's going to fall down on that. It's just a little bit of ice. You turn around on the way back to see Bickford face plant. As he does, Goldenrod comes over one shoulder and starts to skid across the ice towards the river. With a dexterity save of 12, they go in. And there's one arm holding on to...
There's not an arm; it's just a foot.
Yeah,
to
that's
hold
right.
on.
One foot hooked around like some crazed trapeze artist with the curled toes on a piece of ice sticking out.
There are just there are expletives in dead languages that are so old. No one should be able to know what they are.
And
Just
part of
being
the
screamed at
shadow.
under the water.
Yes, under the
And you
water.
just
Under
hear
that
bubbles
same
just,
water, the shadows in places are being blown away by the sheer extreme power of the water.
Oh,
showing
he's not
the
even trying to
writhing
hold the water.
interiors. Yep.
He's not even trying to hold the shadow at the moment. He's
Yep.
just
So,
tired.
with that, the
Feel like
only
I'm
one
being
with the
insulted.
dexterity capable of not only saving themselves but doing something about it, Idicus.
I'm screwed.
Yeah, I'll help them. What do you need me to roll?
Well, you tell me what you do. You're, what a moment. I didn't realize what the phrase "I'll help them" meant until I thought about that for a second. Zulthis, the one you don't trust, the one who made Alan go away.
Yeah, I'll go over there, and as carefully as I can, I will help him out of the water first, and then I'll go help Bickford.
Okay, you grab him by the ankles and just. Yeah, Bickford doesn't need help. He just fell down on the ice. He's just
Okay.
He's just on his ass on the ice, or I guess on
Okay.
his face on the ice. Well, I mean, it's kind of winded
Instead of
because
cheeks
he
together
had.
in blue this
He
time.
did have creature on his back when he landed, so he's a little winded, but he's not going to need much help. But on the other hand, oh, camera in my brain, thank you. As you step up to the edge of the crystal clear, ice cold water, with Zulthis laying in it with one foot hooked around this piece of ice. As you grab the ankle and prepare to pull, you look down and he looks for all the world like waving arm inflatable tube man underwater. Just 3 of his limbs just... For the purposes of this, you see Zulthis as Zulthis really is. All snakes and tubes and Cthulhu,
Every terrifying aspect of what he is.
and you grab the ankle
Yeah, and pull him up.
and pull him up. Give me. Well, you tell me. How are you doing it? Athletics, acrobatics.
I'm trying to see. Yeah, let's do acrobatics.
Okay. So
Beowulf is gonna help.
Okay, that works. So yeah, acrobatic. That's perfect. So you kind of reach out, and grab Beowulf's hand, and drop down and wrap your arm around it, and kind of lock your arms together, giving you a physical chance to be the knot. Oh, I love this. That connects the party again as you haul them out. Roll with advantage, acrobatics, please.
Oh, thank you,
Dang.
God.
And it's perfect. It is just Iticus just flexes. Just, the little metal muscles go ding 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 and go like mini Arnie. Just testosterone bursting forth from the inanimate form as you haul Zulthus
Yes,
out of
hormones
the
coming
water.
from metal.
As his shattered body pulls back up on the ice, you see bits of shadow from around you, including your own, sort of migrate back and cover up the real Zulthus in his black wispy form. Sayer, do anything before the other two get here? Well, I mean, you're holding on to Beowulf, but
To Zolthus.
Friends, help. Friends.
I've agreed with this already. Why are we rehashing things we agree on?
Criticus strikes again. Yes, absolutely. And Iticus MVP. Yes, always. Have you? Yeah, go watch some of the back episodes if you don't believe me. So with that, Beowulf, you overhear that. You didn't see the fight downstairs, I don't think. No, you were busy falling in the ocean upstairs.
Yeah.
But you see something significant has happened between Iticus and Zulthus.
He shakes it off as kind of like, what? I'll figure that out later.
Bickford, as you crawl up off the ice, you see this play out in front of you, and you do know what that means, more at least. You saw them not kill each other downstairs, but it was still very much not resolved.
Yeah.
There seems to be some resolution now, I would think. Am I going to make an insight check? You guys tell me. I think it's pretty obvious, isn't it?
I can't tell. Zulthus is still pretty sure everyone hates him.
Iticus isn't keen on him, but at the same time, you're still part of the party, so I'll still help you.
Beowulf is kind of not really sure what's going on quite yet because he missed a lot of the
Yeah.
interactions with Zolthus. So he's just going to take it all in stride at the moment, knowing that we really should get into that crevice.
Yes. It's probably a very good idea.
Bickford has an intrinsic connection with the shadow already, so he kind of trusts Zulthus on a level that the others don't,
Sure.
because he understands Zulthus on a level the others don't.
Sure. Yep. Yeah, you can't imagine many things more different than a bugbear and a whatever he is, a
Shadow
Zulthus.
monster.
Yes, but yes, in that particular aspect, I absolutely agree with you. It makes perfect sense.
Lovecraftian horror.
Yeah. And with that, with Iticus's help, because you're like the mountaineering master now, and everybody listens to you because you're saving people's lives and all kinds of stuff, and making friends again. And now, if you could just prevent cat attacks from off screen, would be great.
I feel like we have a displacer beast chasing.
Yeah,
Anybody else have that idea?
but
I thought it was a blink dog.
you get up into this little you can see the water here used to be deeper, and it dug a deeper cave, and then it dropped, and it's digging again, but it hasn't gotten all the way in. So there's sort of this plateau that you guys can get in on. You're definitely out of the wind, out of any snow that's coming, right down near the water. So as long as there's not a flash flood, you'll be fine. But you get in there, making camp, lighting a fire. We're gonna play some real D&D tonight. Like, some shit's gonna happen. Dice are gonna roll. What's the plan? I know, like, two of you don't need to eat, so
Yeah.
that's kind of off the table. But
Not don't
Bickford's
need
gonna check
to.
pockets for any sausages.
pocket jerky.
Holding off because he knows eating his friends is going to look at like a very big faux pas.
Yeah, that would be bad.
He's just going to find a dark, shadowy corner and just sleep in
Great
that for the
Zulthus.
next several hours.
I think it's the shattered Zulthus right now. Yeah, until he gets
Oh
his
no, it's
good
because
sleep
they're
in.
imagining it as Gonzo.
Yes. Yes, there was also and they just weren't allowed to show that. I always wanted to see the Gonzo in the hospital recovering montage. I'm so happy I'm Canadian. Okay. Besides, Zulthus doesn't have a nose. Essential to the Gonzo character.
Yeah. Does Zulthus have a nose? No. Well, maybe. Where's the nose?
Is
So
he pointing at it?
you climb up into this notch. Who has to sleep still? I think only two of you have to sleep too, right? One of you can go on sentry patrol. I know that, right? Iticus, you can go on like little park robot, except that you work. You
Yeah.
don't drive into fountains and run into people and not stop crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you Iticus bot. You sit down.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
pretty much at the entrance of the cave. Just enough inside that I'm safe,
So
so that I can see them and see outside.
Absolutely. Good point. Thank you for that clarification. Zulthus, you don't sleep either, right? Oh no,
No,
but you're gonna rest
but
in
I'm
this
going
case,
to,
which counts as
essentially. Like if Zulthus shuts off.
yes.
Essentially, he just turns into like a pile of snakes, wearing clothes.
The garter ball.
Yeah, a big ball of garter snakes. That's what I saw too.
Yeah.
But
but they all fall apart, and you just see a pile of snake eel-looking things in the shadowy corner over
always
there.
just slightly touching at least one of their other things, because otherwise you can go anywhere. I have to keep putting limits on.
Oh no, I'm not.
As
This
long
is-
as the
this is
snakes are
only when
touching.
he's- this is not ever going to be used in gameplay. This is
Oh, I
only.
know. It's just my
Just-
natural defense mechanism going, I see where you're going.
I'm not going anywhere aside from when he's not active. He doesn't exist as a
Yes.
humanoid form,
And just
and like
we,
Spiders Man, yeah.
we figured out earlier before the stream started that the only time, mechanically speaking in game, the only time you can heal is when you do this or when you drink blood, right?
When I devour someone's life,
Feed
essence,
something's
drink blood,
essence. Yeah,
whatever
okay.
it needs to be.
Yeah, so that's the two. So one, you're actually out. Beowulf, you have to sleep, yes? Even in your new form?
Yes, actually,
You also feel the cold to some extent.
yes, I do. So
We're into the
he-
two now that I have to ask about a fire.
He tries to start a fire, seeing what little kindling he can find.
Yeah, you'd have to burn stuff
he's-
that came
he's
with
like-
you in the backpack,
he's-
because there's no wood in here, right?
Yeah, he's still kind of wet and
Yes, that's true. Yeah, you've been wet and cold all day. So,
Should
Big-
have knocked myself out. I still have my bag full of useful items.
Bigford,
Uh,
you need to sleep too, right?
yeah.
I mean, unless you want to take exhaustion or some such.
Yeah, he's actually going to take off his leather armor to let that try and dry.
Yeah.
He gave his poncho to Beowulf. That's on the ship. Most of his pack is on the ship. He probably would have kept his bedroll with him because he's
Yeah, you've got the basics, absolutely. Yeah.
so he's going to bundle up as best he can, and when it's his turn for watch, he's going to try and start a fire because hopefully his flint and tinder will be dry by then.
So you said when it's your watch. So are the two of you going to split the evening then?
Yeah.
Because you kind of can't talk to Warm Boy in the corner after he breaks up. Yeah.
The things that make up my mouth don't exist anymore.
Yes. There's one lip over there and one lip over there humping a rock.
And all the teeth are just scattered around. It's terrifying. Like, not all of them are human either. Some of them look human, some of them look very animal. And this one, the hell is this one?
So, Beowulf, I guess the question is then, are you taking a watch as well?
Once he warms up, he'll probably take maybe last watch.
Okay, so like 2 hours. You still, it's only like 2 hours each. Otherwise, you guys won't get a full rest.
Yeah.
But that's okay because Iticus is basically on guard. Let's do. Everybody but Iticus, just roll me a straight D20 just to see whose shift this happens on.
Do you mean, wait, do I have to roll a d20?
Yep.
Okay.
And if it happens on your shift, you don't see it.
I'm not on a shift, though.
I know, but you still get one. In other words, you are representing the space where nobody but Iticus was watching.
Okay.
You're not going to see anything, but if it happened during that time, then only Iticus would have seen it. That's why I needed everybody but Iticus. So, high or low? Hi, Bigford. You get settled in for your couple of hours, and I mean, there's not much to see. It's there's the river out front, which is basically ice flowed up. It's kind of starting to block up, and it's probably when that breaks at some point in a couple of days, it's going to be nasty when it goes downstream, but not your problem. Nothing's getting deflected into the area that you're in. But you and Iticus see, hear first, coming up the river.
Put out the fire.
You see tiny bits of ice starting to crack and come off the wall almost like snow. At this point, Beowulf, I'll give you a roll to see if you wake up. Give me a perception check with disadvantage.
Okay. Fudge. It's gonna roll advantage, so we'll just take the lower of it then.
Yep.
Oh, wait, no.
This is why I
You
like
let me-
setting
you let
mine
me
to
just-
roll both all the time, and it just. But either way, 9 and a
There
10.
we go. Well, it doesn't matter.
No, you're asleep
It
and
automatically
dreaming.
rolls advantage on mine. Sorry.
That's okay. You are blissfully dreaming of warmer places, and continue to sleep through.
Sam McGee.
Iticus and Bigford, give me perception checks as you stare off into the darkness.
Sure.
18 and 18 with both, and 18 with both eyes. And a 12. Iticus, you miss it. Maybe it's the reflected light. Maybe it's the low light at the end of the day. Maybe you've done enough damn heroes things today, and it's somebody else's turn. Whatever the reasons. Or it could just be a random dice roll. Who knows? Whatever the reason, Iticus, you miss it. But Bigford, you miss it really bad the second and third time you do it.
Didn't send.
That's all good. Bigford, perfect. You see the water shake down river where the river bends, and it shakes again. It's like a repeating earthquake, but it's too regular for that. It can only be footprints. But this thing must be huge. And then the first leg comes around the corner. And it looks like a human leg, but the distance from the ankle to the knee is 12 feet. The rest of the leg comes forward as the body shifts forward. This thing is almost 40 feet tall, covered in ice, apparently of its own generation, shattering as it walks. You see a giant, the size of you've never seen before. But parts of it are rotten. Parts of its calves and its legs are sloughing off in the ice, or in the icy water, and falling off and drifting away downstream faster than the giant is walking. One whole half of its face, the skull shows. The eyes missing, the teeth are ripped out, the jaw's broken, but it doesn't seem to notice. It's not breathing, because you can't see its breath in this cold weather.
First thing that pops into my head is the giant skeletons from Lurkwood.
That's too bad. That means I didn't do my job. The first thing I was hoping would pop into your head was undead giants.
Well, yeah, that. But the thing is
Oh,
like,
in the Mirkwood, yeah, or Lurkwood, yeah.
'cause
Sorry.
they're related.
Yes, yes. Oh, very much so. In that case, I did do my job. I just had a brain fart now. But yes, this is like that, but it's 40 feet tall. Give me a perception check as you refocus. Kind of shake your head and refocus. This is why Oedicus didn't see it. It's too big. It won't process.
20.
That is absolutely lovely. A 20.
30.
You see, it is a zombie frost giant, but it's like the Wicker Man. It's made up of zombie frost giants. So each leg is 2 giants, one sitting on the shoulder of another, both zombies. The chest is 4 giants. The arms are 2 giants each side. And another giant crunched up in a seated position is the head. Towards you. Oedicus, you see that Bickford is looking way up there. And you look up and you see this. It's walking right straight up the middle of the river, smashing through the ice as it goes.
I'm gonna try and pull Bickford further into the cave with me.
So you pull back in amongst the worms. And do you leave Beowulf snoozing by the remains of the fire, or
Yeah, he's still snoozing.
he's doing that dog thing where he's curled up, but they've left their belly exposed to the fire, but the fire's gone out, so you're slowly kind of shrimping up to seal in the heat?
Bickford's gonna grab Beowulf by the nape,
Yeah.
so he's
Yerp.
already got that. Yeah, and just sort of gently drag him.
And the 4 of you drag to the back of this suddenly feels very shallow cave. This is a fun roll. Big eyes. With disadvantage for Zulthus, because you're not really here at the moment. Everybody give me a stealth check, please, as you try and hide away from the zombie Wicker Man.
Beowulf.
It's just a pile of worms that you want to attack for some reason. Because I'm asleep. I'm not trying to hide.
Yes.
Well, when
Luckily,
Bickford
he's
grabs
12.
Beowulf, he gives out a loud yelp.
Yes, you do. Yerp! As you do, everybody else just sort of fades into the back. Zulthus, it's like they've got a mind of their own. They sort of stop moving and just sit in the shadows and all but disappear. And then Beowulf goes, Yorp! And skitters, and you hear the claws on the ice. There's no way this thing didn't hear that.
Well, let's hope that its eardrums are rotten too.
The next one, right outside this little cave. You see the foot come down and land and break that ice floe. The leg moves forward, almost seems to pause at the vertical, and then continues to move forward, and beyond it you see the other leg swing past. Down the river.
Bickford's gonna wait.
Beowulf and Oedicus.
Waiting.
What the hell is that?
I was like, shut up.
Just to be clear, Bickford, you're the only one that knows what it's actually composed of. Everybody else just saw a 40-foot frost giant.
So
Zombie Voltron, yeah.
that wasn't just a giant. Once it's like clear that this zombie
Yep.
frost
You can
giant
hear
gets fucked off and on.
as it fades off down the river.
That wasn't just a giant. That was a lot of giants.
13. Oh, 13 giants. I love it.
It was 13 zombie giants like knitted together. It was really weird. Somebody's idea of a joke.
Not funny.
No,
Not very funny at all.
Now I get to make the rest of these. This is going to be so cool. Imagine what the fire giant one's going to look like. Oh, damn. As it smashes off down the creek, you notice everywhere it stood, ice starts to form. Like residual footsteps freeze in the river as it walks past. We'll have this happen right at the end of the night, and Zulthis, you kind of and reconstitute, just so you can be part of this conversation. You didn't see it, but you sort of come to in the corner, healed.
What happened? What did I miss?
big ass zombie Voltron.
Oh, this doesn't have to do with that lich I pissed off, does it?
You pissed off a lich?
Yeah, I pissed off a lich.
Oh fuck.
We were in Lurkwood.
You did.
Well, I mean, Alan and I pissed off a lich.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's probably related.
Could be.
You also have information about a giant lich, which had been unheard of, but that's what caused the zombies in the Lurkwood. You knew that.
Me or everyone else?
Bickford.
Okay.
I forget, we even had a name for it. They called him, not the dark one, but the unknown one or something. But there was you got the vague information that there is a lich giant of some kind who is controlling this undead army of giants and has now figured out how to make mechs out of them.
Okay. You know, I was 40 feet tall once. Good times.
But I was only that thick, they smeared me on a wall like paint.
It was more like being smeared on the outside and then inside of someone else.
Yes, yeah. The stain I became was quite long. But in the darkness following that, the dawn is starting to creep into this valley.
I suggest if we're going to try and get as far as we can, we should get going very soon. At least as soon as we can see a little bit of light.
Yeah, you only got a couple hours done of movement yesterday, so, only a couple of miles, really.
Bickford starts to pack up with urgency, remembering again about the javelin that was blessed by Grancool.
Oh, not just the javelin. The deal was all thrown implements.
Oh,
Because, if we're going to do something this major, I was going to do just a little favor for the little thing on the boat.
mm-hmm.
But if we want to make this a major part of the story, then it's all thrown items
Okay.
for an unspecified price.
Yeah.
And as per our conversation, you can go cleric with this, you can go warlock, you could even go paladin technically. But your whatever you end up with, you owe them a favor, and you don't know what it is.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, an unknown favor of some sort.
Yes.
Paladins would that'd be nuts.
Just to add to the fun, pretty much anything with a religious connotation or warlock, depending on how you define religious connotations. But
Hey, a cleric's
Cult
just a
is-
warlock with a better union.
yes,
The only
some more
difference between
spell
a
slots.
cult and a religion is the fact that a cult has been around for a shorter period of time. is the
Or has
actual
smaller
definition.
numbers, or is on the wrong side of the current popular media, or
wrong
is the
things.
one that didn't say the cult word first if it's a battle of religions. Anyway, back to the fantasy world, because the real world's fucking depressing.
Yeah.
But this fantasy world right now is probably almost equally depressing. After a week of having the greatest toy in the world, just wafting from place to place, and warm beds to sleep in, and a ship at your beck and call, you are going to be walking for the first time in a while. You have the bare minimum of stuff. A couple, 3 or 4 days food for those of you that need to eat. And that storm hasn't quite hit yet. In fact, as you look up, you can see the wall of white coming. Because this is more interesting. Do you proceed in the storm, or do you take a day and eat some of your food and not progress? We're going to make D&D travel interesting this evening, starring Dirty 20 Gaming and Friends.
I think Zulfus is going to check around.
Look at him thinking.
Pretty much going to check the safety of this crevice, this cave that they're in,
Yep.
and then look to everyone, look outside, and look at everyone else and say, the smart decision is to wait a day.
Says one of the one that doesn't eat.
Yeah.
Says the one that does have to eat.
Oh, that does have to eat. That is true, yes.
He's gonna take on. He's going to start, if he doesn't get food in the short period of time afterwards,
Yes.
he's going to start frenzying.
Yes. Yeah. Probably something you don't mention in the conversation. Iticus. You know, in a storm like that, while you don't feel cold, your joints will start to stiffen up. You don't feel like, but you do get less efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my brain said that real technology gets more efficient in the cold.
Unless it's battery powered.
until its lubricant freezes up, and that was what I was trying to get at without saying the word freezing lubricant.
I'm actually gonna roll into nature to see if he knows
Okay.
about this. Yeah. Okay.
Oh
he
yeah,
knows.
you do. Whatever it was you were thinking. Yeah.
He's just gonna look at the other two who do have to eat, and
You have enough? You okay?
The two of you, the correct answer is it's borderline. You have like 3 days of food. It's a 2-day travel if nothing goes wrong, and they're talking about taking a day off.
1.5 day at this point.
This would
yeah.
be your reserve.
Well, hopefully the storm isn't more than a day long.
There
he
is
said.
also that. You have no idea how long this storm is going to last. One day might turn into more than one day.
The problem is we don't know how long the storm is going to last. Number one. Number two, we don't have a lot of rations. Those of us who need to eat. I mean, I could stretch the jerky I've got for maybe 3 or 4 days, but no more than that.
Pickford's like, I'm kind of in the same boat.
I need fresh.
And yes, you have seen nothing alive of any size in the bit of travel that you did yesterday. This is the surface of a glacier. There's very little here. You see some birds flying around, but they're not going to land near you.
And I'm pretty sure if we get an arrow into one of them, it's not even going to work
It's not gonna
out.
fall
very
anywhere nearby. No.
And yeah, go down a crevasse or whatever. So the end result is stay or go.
Pickford doesn't trust his chances out in the storm.
So that's a stay.
The doctor says stay.
That's
I think
2
we should
stays.
stay.
Okay. So the 4 of you
And-
bundle up. Take this opportunity to sort of pile up some snow and ice blocks and turn it more almost. I mean, you've got a couple hours before this hits. You can get in there, bricked in there pretty well. And then it does hit. And you can hear most of it is overhead at the top of this valley because you guys are in the wall of this valley down by the river. So you can hear most of it. I mean, it is. You can understand now where the dirt comes from, because if you were to walk to the front and look up, you can see dirt from nearby dirt areas being blown in this sand, in this storm across the surface of the glacier, depositing this fine grit. But even in the valley that you're in, especially when the wind shifts, every once in a while a gust comes right down the valley, and it would all but suck you out of your little cavern if you were standing too close to the front. But safely you aren't.
Great.
That
we're in my
happens.
city.
That happens 3 or 4 times before you all make your way towards the back of this little cutaway. The storm lasts all of that day. And when you think the sun should be setting, the storm starts to fade. It's midnight, you figure.
If we've been
Before
resting
it
during
stops.
this,
Yep.
if we've been resting during this time. That
Yes.
we haven't been able
You've
to
had
do
nothing
anything,
else to do.
Everyone can see in the dark.
Hmm.
Except for me.
Not even your shifted form.
No,
Not even in my shifted form, no.
No.
they get
Because,
um.
God, I'm still
advantage-
human.
They get advantage on hearing and smell checks.
And you could definitely hear and smell this storm. So,
So
yeah.
the doctor says no. Zulthus is going to come up to everyone and say, "Storm's gone, and considering we've been resting throughout the day, it is midnight. It's pitch black out, and only one of us can't see. If we tie a rope around the one that can't see and make sure that we all continue going forward, we should be able to get some distance in before we need to rest again." You don't
I have
have
no
nights and
problem.
issues when we can't see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
Beowulf
to be clear,
represents
you
the
can
color.
see 60 feet. Some of you may be 120. I don't know if you have that special ability, but still, 120 feet on a glacier is not a long distance. But for the purposes of this, it is an almost full moon. In fact, let's go all the way out. Let's make it a full moon, glistening off the glacier. A lot of the sand that was blown around in the storm is still up there, but it also scoured some patches down to bare ice. So there's places where the moon is flickering off this ice field.
I say we go for
Even
it.
Beowulf can see 40, 50 feet in this.
Mm.
I lead.
Yeah, we will definitely need a marching order for this.
Yeah.
Edicus, did you say you'd go first?
Mm-hmm.
No,
He,
Oh,
he,
wait,
he
no.
asked the
He
other
said-
ones first,
Yeah.
or
If
the
you'll
group
lead?
first, if he should.
I misheard
The
that.
rogue. Yeah. The rogue. You're supposed to let them go first. We're
Yes,
playing D&D again.
Zulthus will actually say, sorry, I can lead. I'll move a little faster than everyone else. I can move there and back before we see any issues.
I can be between Bickford and Idicus. That way, Bickford can keep an eye on me to make sure I don't stray away from Idicus too much.
Yeah. I was going to say the old man's going to be in the back.
Okay, that makes sense. So, from what I heard, the question is, Zulthus, are you tied on? Sounds like everybody was going to tie together with a rope, right? Except you were talking about zipping out and back, so that kind of...
I could zip out and
Doesn't
back. I
go
don't think
with
I need a
rope. Yeah.
No. Especially considering I can move 50 feet per movement.
Yeah.
Per 6. Which means that even if I move 50 feet away, I can still see them barely within the 10 feet.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll do that.
And you take off into the evening. Which means you're up
Zulthus,
first.
opens
so-
his bag of stuff and puts some and goes, "Okay, everyone come here. We have shoes." And just looks at people's shoes and then just opens his bag, starts putting nails through the bottoms of everyone's shoes
Okay,
Beowulf doesn't
spiky
have-
shoes. Okay.
so that they
Idicus
can
doesn't have
stick to the
shoes.
ice.
Yeah, there's only one set
Then
of shoes.
Zulthus will just glue some spikes onto Idicus if Idicus lets him.
The ice is not going to be tripping anybody up anytime soon. We already did that roll. But
Yeah.
so Zulthus, you
giving
said
us-
you were going first.
Yeah.
Give me a survival check, please.
One of my best checks. 23.
3. You start moving ahead of the group and sort of doing recon, for lack of a better phrase. And you quickly come to this area that you can tell the ice kind of almost looks like it's rippled. But you get down and look closer, it's really thin over a couple of creeks in this area. There's sort of this delta with all these little creeks that come together into one big one. But that ice is certainly not going to take the weight of any of the... Maybe Idicus, but certainly no one else.
Zulthus is going to throw a rock into it to make sure that it breaks apart a bit more,
Yeah,
so people can actually see what he means.
right. And then the
And
rest of
then-
you come up behind, or do you just continue on?
Zulthus will go back or
Okay.
wait either way.
Okay. And the rest of you have to pick your way across this surface. You don't have spider walk. It's icy, it's slippery, it's still windy, it's very, very cold, it's very gritty, it's slippery. Again, you're falling down a lot, but you've kind of figured out how to fall down now, and you don't take damage. But you get to this point where there's this whole delta of icy rivulets in front of you. Looking up and downstream, it goes for a ways.
We need to keep moving forward, and this is in the way, unfortunately. So, who would say they're the strongest?
Bickford slowly raises his hand.
Cool. How comfortable are you trying to toss us past this area?
Yeah. It looks at him and is like, I could carry almost all three of you by myself. Throwing you is not going to be a problem.
Excellent. That's the plan.
Fastball special Icus.
No, Edicus will look, after hearing being thrown, will look to Bickford and then Goblin.
I walk. Do not throw me.
Icus can walk.
This water, now that you're closer and take a look at it, is probably waist deep on Bickford. He's a little taller than the rest of you, so the rest of you it's kind of a little higher, but it's wadeable, but it is ice cold and covered in this thin ice. Idicus, you'd be underneath. You'd be you'd be like a rock walking underneath the surface with a
I would
a
say
crest
Icus
above
should
it.
ride on Bickford's shoulders in that case.
There's ways to
Oh,
get
right,
across.
we can also just go. I am too tired for this. We could also just walk through it. I am. Yep.
It's just
everyone
freezing. I
get
mean, it will be freezing cold in the middle of the night, but it is an option.
Wait, you also said you could carry all of us, right?
Could.
How far apart is this creek ravine sort of thing?
It's a series of little channels. Each channel is sort of 12 to 30 feet across.
You can jump 12 feet, right?
Not with 3 people on them.
No, not with 3 people.
But just with one of us?
Maybe Idicus. Maybe.
Yeah.
I imagine Idicus actually weighs about the same as everyone else, considering they're made fully of metal.
Yeah, they're just smaller. So either way, flinging them. Nobody's getting flung all the way across any of these. Not even the short one. But you could wade. You could try and build something that floats.
Yes, because we've had such good luck with things that float before.
We're kind of 0 for 3 on floating right now.
And there's nothing else we can build or make really that could bridge over top of these.
Have a look around. See what you can find.
Okay, let's check out the ice.
Give me a survival checks. It's a high DC, because what are the chances of finding ice bridges laying about? But
it appears to be we are in some kind of icy place.
well, 12 and the 9 don't find anything.
21.
You find that, and so Idicus, Zoltus, Bickford, and Beowulf. Perfect. Idicus finds nothing with the 9.
Bigfoot, are you having a stroke?
No, with the 12.
Do you smell toast?
It's really cold.
Well, here we go. Here's how you do a 21 and a 1 in the same roll. Beowulf, you find some a place where the ice is kind of like almost like a tiny iceberg calving with bits falling off. So there are some flat-ish pieces that you could probably, the 4 of you could push and slide across the ice and get to across at least one of these little channels. But when you show Bickford, he says, "Excellent, let's go," and he gives it a push and breaks one end off. That's making it too short to do the job.
Oh.
All right.
No, let's just try to leap across, all of us. We can probably do this. 30 feet isn't that bad for us.
Yeah,
you.
because I can go 40, I know that.
You move, but
I
jumping.
have
is
speed of 5, thank you. But Idicus is just gonna try and like hop across.
You're the only one that stands a chance on the ice, just because I already said so. So give me a acrobatics as you sort of slide, looking for thick spots on the ice. Nope. Boonk.
No, not.
Bloop.
No.
So you get you get across the first one. Say, I got this. Cross the little island. You get about halfway across the second one, and the rest of you just see, bloop,
Zulthus is already going into the
running.
icy
So you're
water.
just going to shatter through the ice on the way there. Give
No,
me an
he just jumps over the first one and then dives.
and then
fully
dives into the second one. Sinkers and floaters. Yes. So yes, you and leap and smash through the ice down beside there. Give me a perception check as you open your eyes, or what passes for eyes under the water.
Well, they look like
Desperately
eyes.
saving,
That's just because they're supposed to look like eyes.
Desperately saving the person that doesn't need to breathe underwater. 23. You see Idicus tumbling underneath the ice.
I don't also want them to rust underwater.
No, this is true.
Ooh,
But you
I
can't
know.
get to them this round. You can see them and certainly swim after them next round. The other two, standing on, there's a chain of shattered ice where Zulthus ran, and Idicus is going fishing. It's the bait, apparently.
There's no way I'm going to be able to make my way across without getting soaked. Is there? I mean, I could cheat and Misty Step, but I can only do that twice.
I get you. You only have to do it once to get to the first island. They're
That's
only
true.
slightly beyond that.
All right, so he's going to wait for Beowulf to figure something out before he Misty Steps, because he doesn't want to be that dick.
Well, the first one that's
I-
narrow, you can certainly jump that in your new wolfy form. Yeah, I don't even need a test. So yeah, you look, Bickford, you look over and just bound, and away goes your new Beowulf friend. You look over and say, oh, and Misty Step. Okay. Mark one of those off. You have done one. So the two of you are now standing on an island looking at a hole in the ice. You can see sort of shapes and colors moving slowly downstream. But under that ice, Idicus. Boonk. It's all icy rocks down here. It's really hard to kind of get your footing. You hear a big kasploosh behind you and look, and Newfrid is coming to get you, apparently. You look downstream the other way, and there's a really big fish coming. Just like the one that was in that other river. The ones that was in that other river.
Dead.
Certainly big enough to eat an Idicus. They were biting chunks out of a boat. Oh, I'll bet how you miss your boat.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are we all still attached with a rope?
Well, Misty Step isn't. The rest of you, it was only 12 feet, and you've got 50 feet of rope connecting 3 of you, so that's 25 feet between each one. Excellent question, but yes, you're all still tied together.
Which means only Idicus and Beowulf are tied together.
Yes, Idicus,
Oh,
Beowulf,
with
empty
that-
piece of rope, and a loop.
So with Beowulf feeling the tug of Idicus,
Yeah,
he's gonna try and pull Idicus out of the water using the rope.
you are literally fishing for a giant fish you don't know is there. I love this. Bickford,
Mm-hmm.
what are you doing?
He's going to grab the rope along with beside Beowulf, and
Yeah, because there's 2 of your friends down there, so that makes sense. So yeah, the 2 of you are going to grab this rope and hold on to it. Zulthus, you don't really
Nice.
breathe.
Do I see the fish?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you see,
And-
there's you. You're closing quickly on Idicus, and then just on the other side of Idicus, there's this gigantic fish coming in, and suddenly you see Idicus sort of yoink, yoink, yoink as the rope starts to pull them towards the side of the river.
Okay. Zulthus is going to
The fish turns and starts to track.
Zulthus is going to go to Idicus, like as Idicus passes just right by. You're gonna be safe now. Now my turn. And immediately goes after the fish.
Okay, so you're going to attack the fish. Attacks. fish. Notes that you just hope nobody ever finds. Zulthis attacks fish. So, let's do that one first. So you, as the fish goes by, you strike at it. What are you doing? You're underwater.
I'm using key strikes as well for 2 hits and doing vampiric bites.
Okay, biting is not going to get
So I'm
slowed down
feeding
by the
myself at the
water,
same
so
time.
yeah. Because technically
feeding
underwater
myself,
you
so-
should be at disadvantage, but we'll make up for that because it's a bite. So yeah, give me how many rolls?
6
2?
of them.
6?
Because I'm using 2 key points.
Yeah, there's nothing says you can't burn 2 in one round.
Oh,
No, it's a
because
bonus
it's
action
for-
to use 2, right? As
It says
martial
for
arts?
each hit, I think.
Yeah, click the
For
thing.
flurry
Let's
of
see
blows,
this. Flurry of blows.
Take an
Oh,
attack
flurry of
action,
blows
you can
takes a bonus
immediately
action to do
spend
2.
1 key point to make
To
2
make-
unarmed strikes as a bonus action.
Yeah, so you can only
Which
do
is-
2 because it's a bonus action. It would take 4.
It says
It would
immediately after you take an attack, which is the attack action happens twice.
But you can only get
Which
one
means-
bonus action.
Okay, that
Yeah.
feels okay.
So
Still,
you
either
get-
way,
you
that's
still get
4
4.
hits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Okay.
one does really well.
You're underwater and you're just like chomp, and a scale comes off in your mouth, and you bite again, and another scale, like and it tastes like salmon. Not your favorite. You bite again. This time you get sort of the gills, and it's just like you're biting, and you've got a hold, but it's not doing anything. Only on the final one do you finally get underneath the skin or underneath the scale and start to chew on the meat. 5 points of damage is all that you do.
Which means
in
I
that.
also only spent 1 key point because I could only do 1.
Yeah, only 1 to get the 2 extra attacks. So
Oh,
you
wait a
just
second.
bang on the way by, but it absolutely does not distract it.
1. Oh no,
Mm-hmm.
that might ruin the meat. That might ruin the meat. Never mind.
I'm going to do a because we're going to do a dueling thing here. Well, Idicus tries to not be. Well, Idicus is the bait, trying not to be bit bait, and the fish trying to make you bit bait. So roll me acrobatics, please. While I roll it for the fish, they rolled a fucking 1. The fish charges towards you, and just as before it's going to get to you, Zulthis hits the side of the gill, and you see Zulthis just nuts.
It's not even like that. It's just the tendrils shoot out.
Yes, it's all missing, and then finally, 1 hits. But it's enough to make the fish shudder, and its teeth slam down near but not on you. You pull your little legs in and let them pull you further to safety. We still got 1 round to go before you're out of the water, just so you know. But that's where you are. Now, the 2 up on top, you're helping Bickford. So, Beowulf, give me a athletics roll, please. The duality of Criticus, yes, 1s and 20s. 17, yes. So between the 2 of you, you heave. And you're looking, you got almost 2/3 of the rope out of the water. But there's going to be at least 1 more round before you get Idicus clear. Back underneath, Mad Monk of Icy Doomness. Your breath is going to smell like fish for weeks.
Doesn't matter. Well, weird tendrils are going to smell like fish.
Yes.
Smell as I'm pretty much going to take a bath in iodine later before I need
You're
to
in
do
icy
any
cold
more
water
medical
right now,
stuff.
so you'll be fine. But yes, anyway.
Oh no, I mean before I do any more medical stuff, I need to iodine bath essentially,
Yes.
an
So
alcohol
this-
bath.
The side
gonna
of
be
the fish
terrible.
is now going past as you chew a small portion of it. What do? You cannot
Um,
keep up to it. This is a high-speed fish.
Okay. I really can't keep up to it.
Well, I mean, it's here for 1 more round, but after that, it's going to be like chasing.
Oh
you.
yeah. Okay.
You'll be
Yeah,
chasing it.
I'm going to do 4 more attacks.
Okay. Just as
Which
it's going
should
by.
end-
No. Like trying to eat.
Holy crap!
Holy
3 nat.
shit.
I rolled
This-
4 nat 1s in the thing
Wow.
altogether.
Answer that.
Oh, you know what? With the
Wow.
backstory that we've created earlier, there's only one way this could work.
How much damage am I
Your
taking?
first bite. I'm gonna reorder these slightly. Your first bite is the 21. Once again, you drive in right at the base of the fin where there's no scales, and you come back with another mouthful. Nah. You go in again, but the tail swings.
Oh wait.
And-
Oh gods, I forgot something. No, it gives me advantage on the next thing because I'm not having to heal myself. It's still shit. Let's be honest.
I'm going with it anyway. We've given you lots.
Yeah,
of
no,
good
it's
stuff,
too
so I'm gonna
much.
take it
I'm
away
just
right
saying
now.
that.
So as you reach forward in for that next
Yeah.
bite, you
Next
get
time I'll remember.
tail slapped just by the back of this fish as it goes by you. You take the 15 points of damage you were going to try and give it.
So the fish flurry of blowed you.
Yes. And to make it worse, it shatters your jaw on both sides. So you've now had 2 broken arms, 1 broken leg, and a shattered jaw.
I don't even have a jaw.
I know, but that's the impression that you get. I'm beating up on you because I know you'll take it. You'll say, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say yeah to it. This is aggravating.
You just got blown by a fish.
If that fish is still there for even a moment, I'm going to go and just destroy it.
I'm going to give you a I'm going to give you a choice because I am a good GM. You can have a go, flurry of fins. You can have a go at this fish another whole round if you give in to your frenzy.
Oh, I'm going to give into the frenzy,
Okay.
and I will stay underwater long enough to do that. It
Okay.
will mean that I am destroying all of the fish, so no one else can use it. Unfortunately,
Yep. Oh yeah.
'Cause I'm
Nobody's
going to
eating this
attach-
fish after this. Yeah.
because literally I'm attaching necrotic damage to all of it.
So with that, give me, because you're frenzying for this instance, 4 at advantage. And you've done 10 points to this fish already.
Yeah.
In Siberia, fish bites you. Yes. 25, 23. Oh, and the 2 above that as well? The 11 and the 15?
8.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
11 and 15.
So all but the first one of those hits. So again, you kind of go for the bite, and it's like, oh
Bless
shit,
you.
my jaw's broken. You kind of refocus because you don't have a jaw, but that's what physically is going to have to heal.
I think
and
really
then-
it's not a oh crap, my jaw's broken. It's the jaw breaks frenzy activate.
Yes, and then and you lash out 3 times, and as the fish goes away, you reach up, grab that offending tail, and putting the 3 attacks together, you wrench, and then pull it off. This fish, it keeps trying to swim, but it's got no tail, so it just drifts past you and heads downstream, bleeding to death rapidly. This fish is not a frid, so it can, and it's not a food either because it's heading down the river. You have
It's
a tail.
also sorry, this is with those 3 attacks, it's equal necrotic damage as well.
Okay, so
One of
yeah,
my martial arts dice plus my wisdom modifier,
right.
which means
So
at
yeah.
least a minimum of an extra 9 damage.
So as it goes past you,
Aren't you
you
gonna
watch
play?
it rot and slide away into the darkness. Bickford and Beowulf, you see rotting dead flesh pop to the surface and head away downstream. Lots of it. There's some silver scales and shit in it too. First of all, give us another advantage athletics to pull them out of the water. Now that it should be easy, you'll probably 20. Yeah, that works absolutely. You heave, and your little metal frid comes flying out of the water and clangs
Oh, I
up onto
see.
the icy beach.
They don't want me to go into bloodlust right now, so I'm gonna
Yep.
stay that way.
Excellent. Meanwhile, under the water, this fish is dead. It's rotting as it slides past you. Frenzied Zulthis, what do you do? Idicus is just plunk and gone on the rope.
Not.
Oh.
Not meaning to. Just because he got scared, he's grabbing onto the locket.
Okay. As you pull him out.
Really
If as long as no word of Alan is brought up, the Zulthus frenzy, essentially an eruption of black tendrily tentacles, happen from under the water, destroying as much of the ice as possible. As it goes, as Zulthus doesn't stay, but it actually goes down and starts hunting.
looking for anything to kill in this water. There's other fish and crustaceans and stuff. It will work. It's not ideal, but it will work. There's just enough of your mind left to go, this is enough, this is enough, this is enough. I need to eat it all, but this is enough. And you start frenzying and going hard eating. Iticus, the locket gets warm in your hand. And you look down into the water and you can see Zulthus struggling. You can see what he's done, though. You can see he has turned that faceless rage away when it would have been so easy to turn it on the party.
I'll let it go and just kind of watch.
And you
Until I get
watch
pulled out.
while he, I mean, it's, in other circumstances, it might almost be embarrassing. You know, he's eating crustaceans and like almost trying to filter krill out of the water, just trying to eat enough to break this curse, for lack of a better word. Eventually, he catches a good-sized fish on the way by, bites off the head, and you kind of see him shake. Bites some, well, tendrils off the head, tendrils off the body. And as the last little bit of it, you see him shake and come back to himself. Zulthus, the mist fades, replaced by the blood mist of all the shit you just killed.
Yeah, all of my clothes are bloodied.
Well, you're in the water, but yes, yeah.
It's bright white clothing.
Yes, oh
It's
yes, you come out,
stained.
it's pink now, yeah. Oh, you can eat echinoderms. I love our chat, they're so smart. And with that, you pull yourselves. Oh, I'll ask you, what do you do? Iticus, you're up on the beach now. You see what's happened down below. Bickford and Beowulf, you guys see it too through the broken ice. What Zulthus has done.
I just realized all of his rags would be frozen.
Yep, or freezing up at this point. Just,
Yeah, so he's kind of as quickly as he can, he's taking them off for the first time. So everyone's gonna actually see what he looks like.
which is, well, I'm not.
He-
You don't get away with just that. You need to describe what happens now.
So he is literally bits and pieces of just different things, just different items. So he's part metal, part toy, actually. So there are like doll parts on him. And
this creepy little hero.
and part wood, and his face actually doesn't have a mouth, so it just is pure white from like where the nose would be.
Oh, and the eyes. Explain
Yeah,
the eye.
his eyes are still the same.
Which
The
is
one bright, very green eye, that's just a light essentially, and the other one is the real goblin.
the real goblin.
Yeah.
So you take off your rags and start to break. You crack and break them, and the ice falls off, making them sort of usable again.
Mhm.
Underwater Zulthus. I'm going to give these two a chance to think about how they respond to that by going back under the water.
Zulthus kind of finally emerges from the water, still shaking,
Yep.
not having calmed down fully, but trying to.
But at least in control.
Which is of course always a paradox.
Oh, and the one
walk-
thing he does keep on is the locket. That's not coming off.
Right.
Walks over to Iticus. Essentially pulls open his bag because of its magical properties, staying exactly the way it is. Pulls out a small cloak, just latches it on to Iticus.
This wasn't a choice you made. Now, you can make this choice later. But you don't need to now. Hide for as long as you need. We will be ready when you are ready to be who you are.
Damn it, Scarred. Idicus will just hug him. Because he knows that he jumped in to save him and he didn't have to.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The other two of you wrapping up the rope. Idicus still at one end. You see that happen in front of you.
Bigfoot's response is just, he's kind of not staring, but he's studying it, and just very, very quietly at the end, he's like, "What did they do to you?"
To Idicus?
Just not really to Idicus, just kind of a statement. Like he didn't even realize he said it out loud. It's just he looks at it, he's angry. It bothers him that they would do this to Idicus. And yeah, there's a different look in his eye.
Idicus, well, no, Sarah, would Idicus notice?
Yeah. Because this is
And?
what he's been trying to hide forever.
Yeah.
I think Zulthus will also try to catch Bigford's eye, just briefly.
Cut it.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Oh, sorry, and
Cut it out for now. We'll deal with it when we deal with it. Now is not the time.
He sort of scratches under his chin, kind of like this.
Idicus, do you have a response to that, or are you just going to let it go?
He's going to just keep walking and just act like he didn't hear it and
Fold that
Just-
cloak.
yeah.
All right.
Until we can get to a
Idicus
place that he can
monogrammed
get
on
in.
it.
And the four of you continue on into the darkness of this evening. Once again, I need Zulthus to give us a survival check, please.
11.
You find the next little gully by falling into it through a snow bridge that collapses underneath of you. You're forced to scramble up the other side. By the time you do, the rest of them have sort of caught up, so now there's this gap between you and them. It's only 10 or 12 feet.
This spot is good.
You guys can see the shattered bridge underneath. Snow bridge.
10 to 12 feet of clearance.
Just a gap. Yep, 10 or 12 feet. You can all. I think you can all jump it.
Yeah, Bigford's going to make the jump.
Idicus will too.
Beowulf.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where it doesn't look like much, but there's not much run up, and it's kind of, yeah, if I fail, I'm going to fall in the whole thing. But eventually, the three of you make the jump to the other side and continue on. It's like that all day, just off and on, just endless crap you wouldn't think of. Like you come to an area where the wind has blown the land so flat, it's almost turned it into like a skating rink. But it's at an angle. It's all tilting slightly downhill to the left, so it's really hard to stay where you're walking, and you fall down lots there.
Can I?
Beowulf eventually gives in just to fall, just letting it drag him down towards what he hopes is where he's supposed to be going.
Yep. Try and steer the slide. Yeah, Idicus.
Idicus is gonna try and ride it like a slide.
Yep. Just whee, feet up, and away you go.
Zulthus has put the nails he's put into his shoes into such a way that he's just skating.
Yep.
And he does some figure eights every now and then.
Yeah, and
Some
Bigfoot,
pirouettes.
how are you showing off doing this power slide
Oh,
down there?
Bigford's not showing off at all. He's like baby stepping it.
So at the back, ooh, 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 coming down the other ones.
Yeah.
Like, you
The
kids, be
occasional-
careful.
The occasional slip. You know,
Should be wearing a helmet.
Son of a Yeah, I'm good. Ow.
Yeah, nobody's looking, but you're telling them how good you're doing. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, penguin step.
With that, just everybody give me a dexterity check. Just a straight, no, acrobatics. Let's do acrobatics. as you stumble, slide, fall down this hill. Does that make sense? I like this very much. Bigford and Zulthus, you make it. One because you have sticky feet, one because you're going nice and slow like an old man, and you made it. Beowulf, you were doing all right until you heard a hideous giggling behind you, and you were taken out at the knees by a Idicus who has decided if you're going, you're going, and has turned themselves into a toboggan.
Just
Wee whap! Takes the knees right out from underneath you and just keeps going like a little bullet. You fall on your ass and skid down behind them.
I was about to say, he falls down on his ass,
Yeah.
and then he just turns it into a slide. It's like, well, but let's just go for it.
Just go for it. What was that roll for, Bigford?
Bigford resists the urge to laugh.
As you
Bigford does not. Sorry,
Yeah.
Zulthus does not. Chuckles hardly.
across the ice. Bigford, you the last one down towards the bottom. As you get there is about the same time Zulthus comes back from making sure that the other two idiots haven't hurt themselves too badly. By the time Beowulf and Idicus have sort of extricated themselves from the snowbank they've ended up in, the four of you have a chance to look now over this valley ahead of you. And because one night of abusing you with travel and D&D was enough, you find yourselves at the head of this valley, the Clathun Vale. It's clearly not magical, but affected by magic. When they say this valley is warm, it's summer. There's a line, an altitude line, like if you had a topographic map, this valley drops away from you, and everything from your height down is lush and green and deciduous forests, and you can see herds of deer and elk. You can see flocks of birds, large predatory birds hunting those, wolves, foxes, squirrels, something very much like wild sheep and goats. It's just everywhere. It is the most lush, warm place most of you have ever seen. Right in the middle of this ice field. With that, yep.
Well, cooking's like surgery. I'll just go and kill and then cook something. Cooking's like surgery, right?
The first part is where you cut stuff up. Beowulf, you rolled a
That
wisdom
was
save.
to see if he wisdom save is for his bloodlust.
Okay. See if you just go tearing
To
off
see if he's
after a
gonna
deer.
Yeah, because
Okay.
he sees the food, and of course he's a little bit hungry by now.
Yep, it's been almost 2 days, so yeah, you didn't eat all night, so sure, yeah.
So
You-
he does not, but he does get kind of close.
yeah.
Start seeing the drool coming
Yeah,
off them.
absolutely. If
Yeah.
it was Pavlov's dog, he's like, I didn't hear the bell, but yeah.
I didn't hear the bell, but I saw the food.
So let's do the. That's your response. Perfect. That's your response, Beowulf, to seeing this valley full of food and wonderness. Bickford, you finish crawling down this hill and look out into this valley. What are your thoughts?
Bigfred is thanking Grancool for giving them, or for the challenge,
Mhm.
because
Okay.
that's kind of, Grancool doesn't really grant boons too often, but he does give tests. So
Yes.
that was, to him, that was a test, and and Bigford feels like he passed it. And not that this is a reward, but it's rather nice to be able to smell something that, it's not ice. So he's happy. He's, just
warm
kind of
down
glad
there.
that there's a little bit of
There's
a
food down there.
respite.
Yeah.
Sorry?
It's warm down there. There's food down there. I like that word, respite. It's like there's this little break ahead of you. Perfect. So you guys have been going. You kind of realize you've been going hard since that little village.
Yeah.
which may remind some of you that there is still a monster hunter out here after you. I haven't forgotten about them. They are still there. Zulth is next. You look out over this valley of plenty.
Zulthus is going to pretty much turn to everyone. Very quickly go, set up a camp. We'll take a day. We need an unwinding. Kind of pats Edicus on the head and then goes off to hunt a deer so they can all have something to eat.
Okay. Edicus. Have you ever seen a place this full of life? Do you remember?
If he has, it's been a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
Probably back when he was a goblin.
Yes.
And he'll probably just want to like find somewhere to sit and watch.
Yep. So you find kind of the first warm rock on the way
Yeah.
down. There's this little flat sort of natural stage. You walk out, you sit in it. Do you put your legs over the edge and kick them like a little kid?
Yep.
Okay, because that's what I saw. Just on the edge of one of those infinite movie drop-offs, you know, like it just drops off at your feet for miles. Just a little tiny Edicus sitting there with your legs flipping.
Yep, with Fred.
With Fred. I love it. With that, let's do one more roll. We rolled a lot tonight. I need everybody to give me a history check, please. And be warned, no matter how successful some of you are, you're only getting a little bit. 17s
I think we've all been
25s. Wow, 17s, 20s,
and a
and
20.
25s.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I got to give you a little more than I was going to. All right. All of you, now that you've got a moment to think, something about the name of this valley rings a big, scary bell.
Oh shit! I remember.
What do you think it is? I'd much rather you figure it out than I tell you.
What?
If I remember correctly, that's the name of the red dragon whose boat we broke.
Yes, it is.
What?
There's
Awesome.
a reason this valley is warm. It's got a great big ancient red dragon in it somewhere that you just lost his boat.
We've been pissing him off for weeks now.
Hey,
And now
that
we're
dude
in his den.
was being a jackass.
Says the
It
guy
was going,
who's
"No,
part
I
of
don't
him
need
is
my
still
boat.
fighting that giant red dragon in his
I don't need
own
my boat
lair."
anymore. I can just start over again. Just shut off, dude.
Hey, Donkey, nice to see you, man. Oh, yeah, you showed up at a good moment. But we went short again this week. But you know what? We went to a natural ending point. You guys it's the end of the first movie, right? I mean, the credits are rolling. You guys are standing on the cliff top, dramatically lit from behind, still dirty from the road, but refreshed in some way of knowing that you have reached a milestone. He used the word loadedly. As you sit on that precipice, looking out at the next stage of this adventure, I would like you all to take a level for next week.
I can walk on water now. This would have been really useful 2 minutes ago.
To be technical, you've been walking on water for 2 days, but it was frozen.
You know what I mean.
Oh, with that, I just want to touch a couple of bases on the way out of here before we go to the thank yous. The boat is now somewhere heading downstream. It'll be fine for a while, probably until it gets all the way to the Mirar River. Between here and there, it's pretty shitty, or from where you lost your boat and where it's going, it's pretty shitty cold terrain. There's probably not a lot of people out there. But eventually, at some point, either before or after the elementals get back to it, somebody's going to find that boat and the artifacts that are on it. So that's something you might
I
want
think
to
the elementals would have already gotten back to it, right?
20, yes, by now, yes, because that was only 23 and a half hours that they were gone for. So yes, yeah, and you have no way of knowing where it is now. I correct myself. That was what you may have been thinking for the first 23 and a half hours, and now, yeah, it could be anywhere.
Yeah, because now those two idiots are now. What'd you say? They were commanding each
They're
other.
in a ship. You guys have no way of knowing, but they're in a ship where they must follow commands, and there's no one to give commands but each other. So they're just being completely obnoxious, like a brother and sister twins in the middle of a fight. Kind of obnoxious, and the ship is doing really crazy shit all over the northern part of the Sword Coast, which I'm sure you hear about as soon as you get back to civilization.
Mm-hmm.
But first, you got a valley to get through. But that's next week. This week, there's only a couple things left. They are the thank yous. Thank you very, very much. The dragon won't mind. No, not at all. A big red dragon, known for rage, won't have any problem at all with them losing / breaking his boat, screwing up the mission that he said that he was giving them the boat so they could help, trying to take over the boat. I'm sure they'll be fine.
We all had to do that because you gave us inadequate support, you jackass. That was all that he said.
We can have that argument next week.
He's also the smartass that tried to make a deal with a bugbear that was still high on drugs.
Yes. Red
This
dragons they're not smart. Nobody ever said that.
This guy's a real moron.
But thank you so much, Scarred Adventurer, for bringing Zulthus and their complexity. And thank you for correcting me when I get their stuff wrong. I tend to speak for other people. I caught myself doing it a lot tonight. I'm going to try and stop that. But thank you for stopping me from doing that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much to Sarah for Iticus. Always interesting. I've been doing this for a very long time, but you surprise me at least once every week. There are characters that people, I believe this, that people were born to play. Mine is Guy. Yours is Iticus. At least one of them is. There's never any thought. Well, when you stop to think, it's Iticus thinking in my head. It's not you thinking, it's Iticus. It's that you're that ingrained in that character. And as a GM, that's a dream come true. To have somebody come to the table with a character that complete and that utterly fascinating. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, I wasn't born to play Tathlan. No, you'd have been locked up somewhere if you were born to play Tathlan.
Oh, you wouldn't ever.
He doesn't have the subtlety to stay out of jail.
Nope.
Oh, Bickford, the Rock, the dad, the responsible one that never wanted the responsibility. Thank you, Bison, for letting one of your characters grow up. That sounds weird, but if you think back, Pete, and most of your other characters, the Balls, the whole family of Balls, there are a lot of things, but they're not grown up.
No.
And Bickford is. He didn't want to be. He never wanted to be the dad / granddad out of this. But it's
I'm
where
not
he
gonna
ended
lie.
up. So,
There's a lot of character bleed in that aspect.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's perfect. You can play what you know, right? That's why I'm so good at Guy. I used to be that guy, and then I quit drinking. But thank you so much for bringing Bickford to this and taking what was originally a joke and turning it into a really interesting character.
He's a lot deeper than I expected.
Yeah, I love it. We're just getting there. We're just starting to push you guys now. So, which leaves us with Beowulf. And I'm putting the emphasis on wolf now. The bow that we used to know in my head is kind of almost fading away to be replaced by this new morph, this new connection that we still don't know a lot about. And what I want to thank you for is slowing me down and not and also getting killed by your cat without swearing on stream. That's really good too. But for slowing me down and not letting me force you give away all your secrets. So thank you for that. So kind of the same thing I thank Scarred for. So yes, drag this out. We got months and months left before this is done. So take your time developing and finding this character. I'm really looking forward to it. Considering we just figured out what class you were last week. And now also everybody remember level up for next week.
Done.
And with that, there's only 2 thank yous left. We still got 12 people in chat, so thank all of you. At least one of you was originally not going to be here tonight, so I know you're not feeling great, so thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you to all of the crew again here for responding to chat, even in the midst of everything that we just did. Doom, thank you for staying up until stupid o'clock in the morning, or still being up at stupid o'clock in the morning, or whatever it is. Deku, it's always nice to see you live. I get to see all your hearts in YouTube every single time I remember to post. We get the hearts and I do a little happy dance, but I'm super happy to see you here. There they are, spinning hearts, and everybody can enjoy them. Thank you so much. Dak, no, I didn't forget you. Dak Moonshadow, absolutely not. Wave your stuff in the air, 10 out of 10. Absolutely. You're here a lot. Thank everybody there for coming and playing with us, because you did too, especially on nights like tonight when I remember to look over there and bring you into the game. Big hearts everywhere, finger hearts everywhere.
I know, it just looks ugly.
That's all the thank yous. So with that, the only thing left is, until next time, please be nice to each other. Good night.